Okay, so Team Huddle, welcome to Monday night. And it's awesome to see every time I feel like we have new team members on. And that's something we're going to really encourage you to be thinking about. And we'll wrap the call up with just a reminder of that is don't be stingy with sharing this call. Just like you think about you share, they share, repeat with everything else in Isogenics, we want to be thinking about sharing everything, our team huddles, our team opportunity events on Facebook Live. You know, share everything the same way you would do you plus two, them plus two, or you share, they share, repeat. So can't wait to see this just continue to grow and grow as we all learn from each other. You guys, is the energy in the team not just palpable right now? It's crazy. Is it not? I know a lot of people had a breakthrough week last week. We had a couple of people hit the 5-cycle bonus. Mary hit it for a second time. Mary hit Crystal Manager. Did we have someone else hit Crystal Manager last week? I want to make sure I'm not missing anyone to acknowledge them. But Monica hit 5 cycles. She might have hit Crystal Manager too. So obviously we have all of those announcements happening in the business group. But what can tend to happen is as we get closer to a goal date, is anyone starting to feel the pinch of Crystal Manager being tomorrow? Be honest. Anyone starting to feel like, you start to entertain the idea of maybe it's not going to happen, maybe not me. So if you find yourself in that space at all, just know that it's totally natural and it's part of the breakthrough. We just don't want anyone hanging out there too long. And I was giving this example today to a team member who was starting to flounder a little bit, right? It was like last week, it was like, decision, this is going down. And then all of a sudden, it's like, think of it this way. We're in a football game and it's the 3rd quarter and your team is trailing and it's like the team goes, you know what, let's just hit the road. Let's beat traffic. We're not gonna, we better beat traffic getting home. We don't wanna, have to sit in that stadium traffic. No, like that's silly, right? No team would ever quit before the final whistle blow or the final buzzer. So any of us giving up on the goal that we declared for ourselves before the final buzzer is like kind of ridiculous, isn't it? What can happen in the next 24 hours is miracles if you declare and decide that that is the way it's going. So I know last week we talked all about, breakthroughs. This is the whole reason you set and declare a goal is you're declaring your breakthrough. Just consider, and this is for those of you who maybe you haven't found yourself there yet, it might be this time, 6:30 in our time zone, whatever it is for you, tomorrow night, and you still need to create one consultant, and you're like, well, I don't know. Maybe that's going to be your 3rd quarter moment. Just know that in every scenario, when I have seen someone rank advance, we've been there where we're putting in an order at like 8:59, and it's like you're just hoping that clock doesn't tick over before you can hit submit. So it truly is not over until it's over, and at the end of the day, this game is all made up anyway, right? There's no Super Bowl trophy on the line. There's nothing other than what we make up in our mind. And I think for those times that I found myself wanting to discount, okay, this isn't going to happen before the final buzzer, it's just because I'm trying to protect myself. I'm trying to protect myself from being disappointed or being hurt, when really it's the times when I've pushed through and in that final day, those final hours, produce something I never imagined just by staying committed to the goal. That's when I get to experience myself in a whole new way. So I want to just check in and hear from a couple of people. What are you hearing in this conversation? Have you caught yourself wanting to say, well, I don't see how it's going to happen. I don't know if this is going to happen for me. Let's just be real. Like, this is a place we can just be totally authentic. Or have you found yourself really staying committed? And even though you don't see it, you're like, yep, it's going down. I've got 24 hours, like 27 hours. That's like a lot of time. So where's everyone at? Or it's just us? Oh, I guess. It's just us. Oh, that's awkward. It's just us. Ooh, Kathy.
Well, I was thinking this morning, like, I don't know how this is ever going to happen because I, keep trying to talk to people and nobody's really wanting to share the business till they've had more of an opportunity with themselves and stuff. And then out of the blue, I get a text from my cleanse post this morning of a girlfriend's mom, and the mom is my age, and her post or her reply was, "Is that something you drink? I'd be interested." And I private messaged her, and she goes, "Send me the information." And I said, "Well, we have a lot of solutions. We have weight loss. We have healthy aging. We have, you want to earn money, you can earn money." And I almost didn't say that because she and her husband are retired and quite comfortable. They have a home in Iowa on the lake and a home in Arizona and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, "I'd be interested in all of it. Send me the information." And I'm like, holy crap, so who knows what could happen in the next 24 hours. And then the girl that I enrolled last night, she's like, doesn't want to tell her family. I said, "Don't worry about your family," because one's on Nutrisystems and trying to get her to do that, and one's doing something else. I said, "What about friends? What about neighbors? What about people from church? What about other people?" I said, "You don't have to add your family on the list. Think of everybody that you know that might be interested." And she's like, "Well, I'd really like to do it myself first." And I said, "I know you would, but," got her to sign up for a Healthy Mind and Body, and just about liking to make more money. So who knows? And there's a few others that I'm working with too. So
I love it. Totally staying in the game till the final hour. And it's perfect because when you hit that point, and what I can hear for you, Kathy, is when you hit that point of, I don't really know what else to do. I don't see the next action. All there is to do in that moment is ask your mind a really smart question. If you keep repeating over and over, "I don't know what to do, I don't see how this is going to happen," your mind goes, "Okay, cool, we're gonna sit back, we're gonna watch the Bachelor finale tonight." And if you ask your mind a question, it's going to work just as hard to get you an answer. So what kind of questions do I have to ask my new team members such that they see an opportunity to share? And this isn't just for Kathy, this is for what I heard in what Kathy said, just for everyone, right? So smart. Ask smart questions. Perfect. So who else? I want to hear, we can share both from, you can share from what you're hearing in this conversation about maybe being up against your next breakthrough, right? And that struggle with the third quarter syndrome. Or did you have a breakthrough last week? I know we had a couple of people who, whether or not it was you hit a goal, you had a breakthrough in your performance. And I know, Dawn, you are one of those people, so I'm gonna put you on blast. Share what that was like. What shifted for you? And you enrolled, was it 3 President's Packs in a week?
Yeah, and another one today.
Let's go!
Done. Okay, so when I got introduced to this business, I was like, be the next ISA millionaire. I was so excited. And I could enroll people, but no, I couldn't create consultants. And then I went to the celebration and I was like, ooh, I really, all these people are executives. Like, what's wrong with me? And then I was like, okay, I'm going to be an executive. And then I set an executive goal. And here I am 1 year later, 0 consultants, 0. I've enrolled like 25 people, 0 consultants. And, I just, I don't know what led me, but I know it was fear. It was fear of something. And I listened to the audios. I listened to, I got John Ozeroff brain retraining, and it's like this meditation hypnosis thing. And I came to the real, after hearing enough stories, I listened to every single guest on Richard Blissbrook's podcast. He has success stories from across companies. Success story after success story after success story. And I know that if they all can do it, so can I. So what's the deal here? And I guess, I don't know, I went to the network marketing, Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing conference, and there was so much validation there. There were so many powerful women that just validated the whole business as an income producing opportunity. And there was a lot of energy. And I think what this is that event that like helps like pump up my energy a little bit, but it was that I came to the real success stories and all the ISA millionaires. There's no difference in skills, capabilities, background, whatever. It's a level playing field. It's all between my ears. The only thing holding me back is in here. It's all in here. And when I realized I'm carrying this thing around with me that's like preventing me from reaching what I want. And like, it's in there and I have control over it. So what am I going to do about that? And Jocelyn's going, yeah. And so I think that the brain retraining, the meditation, oh my God, I found this book, Tapping the Source. I got spirituality because I don't know if you know this, I have like a lot of negativity around religion from my family of origin. And so I have zero spirituality in my life. And the concept of that, and it's so powerful. So all that combined, and I don't know, I just think it's like, it's all kind of coming together. So, whether it was the event or, my discoveries or the audios or just like the meditations that I've been doing. I enrolled 3 President's Pack last week and I enrolled another one today. And okay, so I know I've been talking a lot, but this is the last thing I'll say. I still feel like all the people I enroll are wealthy moms on the island here where I live. Like nobody needs money here. And it's like products paid for. I can't be bothered, right? That's like everyone that I'm enrolling. And so it's like I'm having a hard time with the conversation. But I'm having coffee. I'm having coffee after coffee after coffee. I'm meeting. I'm talking. I'm making friends. And last week, just one of them and talking about kids and everything else, not business, nothing. And she brought it up out of nowhere. She's like, people are asking me and my mom's asking me and my parents want to do it. And I've had like all these people asking me about this. It's like, oh my God, this is what they said would happen. It's actually happening. And so she's going to be a consultant today. And then I'm a little iffy on my other consultant, but it's, I believe that it will happen by tomorrow night at 9. So,
yes. Oh my gosh, there was so much gold, and I can tell you're either fueled by your passion or all those coffee dates. I can't tell, but we are like feeling you over here. We are feeling the fire, and that is what it looks like. Is when you stare down the thing you think is in your way. Whether it's I can't seem to have anyone go consultant, or I can't even seem to enroll anyone. When you stare that down, like, I see you, mofo. But I actually say the swear word in my mind. I see you, and like I'm taking you down. Like this is no more. I'm transforming this. So awesome, and absolutely yes. Let me know if there's anything I can do between today and tomorrow. I know you're totally supported, but if I can help in any way, like this is going down. The other person I'm going to invite to share, because I know she can't be on the whole time, that had a huge breakthrough last week is Wendy. Wendy enrolled 4 people, created half a consultant, cycled 5 times, had her biggest week in Isogenics ever. And so I want to have Wendy, if you want to speak to just like what shifted for you, what can you share from just like your experience over the last week?
Sure.
Hey, let's go.
I got scared for a second. I'm always like, who's unmuted? that was a good reason to be unmuted. I just got scared for a second there.
I snuck it in there.
Who's at a rave right now and on the team call?
Right. So yeah, I think it's really just been all of the action. There's a small group of us that have a couple of weeks ago, we started inviting for a spring reset. So we have a separate Facebook page that then will transfer those people into Stronger Together after this, but we wanted it to be a small, intimate group. And so I got into a lot of action, realizing that I'm the only one in my own way. and nobody's going to do this for me. I have to make the change. And I think my why got big enough that I really saw it. And I think yesterday when it all came together, I can finally see my goal of working myself out of my corporate position coming into fruition. It's not going to happen real soon, but I can see it happening at some point down the road. So it was really just all the action. I mean, it's what everybody says. It's the consistency. It's the following up with the people. I mean, there were a lot of messages that I sent out that got complete crickets, no response at all. And then there were a lot that got an initial response, and I, wrote back with more information. And then from there, it got crickets. So it was just a lot of messages, a lot of talking, a lot of no's, and a lot of failing forward, and just keep going. And I know that this is a great reason to get those no's, to seek out those no's. So that's I think really the biggest breakthrough, is that just getting into action and getting out of my own way.
Yes, Aaron Freeman, do you have a comment for our panelist?
Yes, I do. Wendy, so just because we always talk about it being like a numbers game per se, obviously we share a belief. How many people would you say you shared with? Obviously you had like your biggest week ever. So how many people do you think you shared with?
I mean, it wasn't all just last week that I was sharing. I think it was probably for the past 3.5, 4 weeks. That I had been doing that sharing. And so last week was really just it all coming together. But I'm going to guess for this reset that we've been talking about, it's probably somewhere 150-ish messages. It's probably somewhere in that neighborhood. We had talked about, Lindsay and our small group had talked about, I think it was mid-February, I talked about, and Lindsay, you can fill in the blank spots. There was a woman who is, I think, in another company who had said that February, although it's the shortest month, can be your most productive month. And so, had set a goal, reach out to 200 people in the month of February. And so we had kind of taken that on as our goal. So I think I got close to that. I'm not sure that I reached it, and actually I should go back and count them, but I haven't done that at this point.
Yeah, excellent. And last question, how many of the people that said yes, taking a look, how many times did you say you followed up until they were ready to enroll with you?
It was really a wide variety. One of the women who started we enrolled her on Friday. I think I must have put her into the Stronger Together group a year ago, if not more. My phone's about to die, so let me plug it in. And then there were some people that I spoke to a week ago for the first time. And so I maybe followed up with them twice. So it was just a huge range. But it was everybody getting that, their number, that piece of paper that they have in their pocket with that certain number of follow-ups that they need to get before they're ready to start.
Sorry, I have one very last thing.
Yeah.
Would you say it was much more timing, or can you kind of point to and say that your belief and maybe what you were sharing for the person last week to get started is different than, let's say, the person a year ago? Was it really just timing, or would you say there was something in how you were presenting what you were saying your belief?
Absolutely. I mean, I in that year when I was thinking that I was making progress, but I really wasn't doing as much reaching out as I should have been, or I could have been. I would reach out to people and kind of, beat around the bush to what I was trying to share with them. And I didn't have the belief, and I probably didn't have the knowledge, but I've listened to a lot of podcasts and a lot of these huddles on replay, the days following it. So yeah, absolutely. I think it absolutely has to do with a couple of weeks ago, I declared that I was going to be a Crystal Manager tomorrow. We'll see if that happens.
Whoa.
We'll see when.
I'm not going to let that slide. Let's try that one more time.
Well,
manager tomorrow.
When I hit that tomorrow, it will be
Thank you.
that uncertainty still pops up its ugly head every once in a while. But yeah, the certainty has changed for sure.
Yeah, and I do want to point, I was going to say that for Dawn too. I want to point back. There was something you both did, which is you declared it, and you declared it publicly. And you can't deny that there was this new energy coming out of that, right?
Totally.
So powerful. Oh my goodness. Well, it really is a win. When you hit Crystal Manager tomorrow, for both of you, I'm like, you can't tell, but I'm looking right at you both. And I know we're getting down to the final minutes, and we'll wrap it up maybe the last 5 with sharing, but I know there are a couple people on here who are right there, Crystal Managers within their reach as well. Truly anyone on here can reach it. But be real. Who's starting to talk themselves out of that it's possible for them? Who is starting to entertain that maybe it won't happen, I don't see it? Lauren. Oh, look, it's like we have ESP. Yeah, what's going on?
Jocelyn tried calling me out already. Yeah, I pushed past it. Jocelyn sent me like 3 podcasts today that I've been listening to while doing paperwork at work. I'm having trouble seeing where it's coming from. I have one consultant who's hit her goal, Katie, last week. So that was pretty awesome to be a part of. But I just can't see that second consultant. And I'm really struggling with that. I've had lots of conversations, lots of hit me up next month, or let's talk when you move back, or just a lot of like, not right now. And so I'm really starting to feel that like, all right, how is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? I have 24 hours and I have no idea where it's coming from. The people that I thought it would come from have kind of fallen through. So I'm just kind of like, I am doubting myself. I am doubting myself right now.
Well, first of all, thank you for being bold to step up. Oh gosh, Peter Kelly's starting to talk on Elliot's phone. Talk about videos. We just always have a leader on one of our phones all the time. So I just want to really acknowledge you first and foremost for stepping out and speaking to what you're feeling, because there is a breakthrough here for you to have. And that's why you came to the team huddle. And it's hard for any of us who've maybe done a rank advancement run before to explain to someone who's on the other side of the line. When you have your breakthrough, you're going to be like, it's right. It's just like you guys said, I'm not going to see it. And then boom, you see it, right? Michael, when he was going for director, that final stretch, he couldn't see it. And then boom, all of a sudden the pieces, show up. But it's only when you say, I don't see it. Now what? I don't see it. Okay. Now what? What's the next action I can take? Asking yourself smart questions instead of, is this going to happen? Saying, this is going to happen. Now what? What's the next action? And if you can keep that fun, where we go wrong with it is we attach so much meaning, like it means something about us, or we're failing, or this is never going to happen. We start to go down this dark path of that it means something significant. And really, this is the opportunity to have the biggest breakthrough of your life thus far, until your next breakthrough, and then you'll have an even better one. And this is really not even just for Lauren, but for everyone. You won't get to experience it until you walk straight up to your biggest fear, your biggest insecurity, your biggest doubts, and just say, you know what, I see you, and we're going this way. Like, we are going, regardless of what you have to say about the matter. So I don't know if Michael wants to chime in on anything about that, having just been through it too. And then if you want to wrap up, Michael and Jocelyn, with the announcements about events.
Yeah, so I know we're getting right to the end of the call here, so I'll be relatively quick, but it really is, so it's so hard for us to see outside of our perspective. And for us, when we're running for a goal that's bigger than we've known ourselves to be, our perspective is actually not a good one to rely on. Like, it's just not. It can't see beyond what the goal is because it's never been there. So some of the key things I would say are staying open to it coming from anywhere. You never know. The last purchase that we had, the last order that we had came from Natalie's father, who wasn't even on my radar. She called me with that, like, yeah, he's ready to order. I'm like, what? He's not on my list. That's not possible. He's not here. But that's how it all got wrapped up and finished. And the next thing is, like, this is not the end. And here's the cool thing, like, you're in action, you're scared, you don't know, but you're still in action. You're having all these conversations. Then when you hit this goal and you start to go for the next one, you have all of these people that you've already talked to. They know what you're up to. They know what the business is, maybe not fully, but they have an idea. So you can always revisit those conversations and maybe they'll be ready. And that's a really powerful thing to keep in your back pocket. So with that being said, let's hop over to events. How many people want to build a large, duplicating, fun, and ever-expanding Isagenix business? That's everybody. So how we do that is events. We build towards events. So some of the events that we have coming up here, if you're local to Scottsdale, Phoenix area, we have a Wellness Wednesday event that we're hosting at the Freeman's House on Wednesday. That's starting at 6:45 p.m. And if you don't live here and know people that do, you're more than welcome to invite them to the event, and we'll take care of them. I'll post that event in the business page so everybody can see that right after this call. How many people have gone on to isagenixevents.com? All right, everybody has to take time in the next week to go on that website because it literally has all the events that the company is hosting, but also the associate run events. So every Super Saturday across the country is listed on that site. So you can not only find Super Saturdays for you, but you can also find Super Saturdays for your teammates that you have across the country to have them go get inspired by the vision and start to share with people. How many people have their celebration ticket? Yeah. Okay, I got excited. But now is the time. They're going to sell out, and not only for you, for your team. Because how many people were inspired by something that they saw, experienced, felt at an event to then go out and decide and choose to build their Isagenix business? For so many of us, that's the case. So we have to do that for our people. And look, they're going to say whatever they're going to say. I don't have time. I have children. I can't make it. What about work? But you know, just like you don't know what's on the other side of your goal, they don't know what's on the other side of an event or an event like Celebration, but you do. So everybody on your team is going to Celebration. Last one, Jocelyn, do you want to touch on the Zoom event that you're hosting for healthcare professionals?
For sure, yes. So, and I saw, Ricky, your question here. Really good question. Just for timing purposes, we're not going to dive deeper into that, but really good question. We can do some posts in the group. And each call we addressed, some different things going on. So thanks for posting in there, Ricky. And we keep talking about challenges on here. So please write that in the group. And so for the about with virtual events being so huge for introducing people, we love in person, like Michael said here, but there are so many medical providers that we can introduce this to. I know last call, everyone raised their hand that they know doctors, nurses, physical therapists, chiropractors, massage therapists that they want to introduce Isagenix to. And so on March 26th, you probably have seen the event, but it's confirmed now. We have 2 pharmacists, a neurosurgeon, an exercise physiologist, a nurse, and a naturopathic student. So we're covering so many different aspects of healthcare and prevention care. And so we're going to really have that call be absolutely incredible, speaking the language of medical providers and why they want to be a part of the wellness revolution. And that's why it's called the Wellness Revolution for Health. So I highly encourage you to utilize that event for medical providers that letting, speaking from your heart, hey, I really want to introduce you to this company. I know you care. This is what you're saying to them, right? I know you care about nutrition for your patients or your clients, or even asking them, do you get questions a lot from people about nutrition? And introducing and letting them know the type of people that are going to be on this call. A neurosurgeon. I mean, who's not going to listen to a neurosurgeon? They're doing what 0.00001% of the population can do. And so, if you have questions about that, like message me. If you want to know how to invite a medical provider, message me and we can talk. But that'll be March 26th, the event I have posted in the group, and message me if you need it. Again, I can message it to you. But that's going to be huge. And it's time. I think medical providers more than any other time are so open to nutrition and having those offerings, and for you to join so that you can also learn what kind of questions do providers have, what kind of things are they wondering and saying. So it's good for you to join and learn about that as well. Any questions about that event you want to ask real quick?
I am so excited for that, because even just for us to each eavesdrop on that conversation and get ideas for, hey, if I know a healthcare practitioner, what might they be concerned about? I'm just so excited for people to get that information.
So will you all participate in making this a really big deal? Will you raise your hand if you're going to invite medical professionals? Any wellness providers, that's also massage therapists. That's really anyone around wellness. It could also be even people, what do they call that? Skincare, estheticians. So really think about everyone holistically. So you all will invite. Let's make this a really big deal, y'all. Yes, raise your hand again if you'll invite.
Acupuncturists as well.
Acupuncture, exactly.
Chinese medicine doctors.
Mm-hmm. Hypnotists. Psychics.
All of them. We'll take all of them.
Yes, Michael, go for it.
Yeah, just one last thing before we kick off here. How many people feel like they really get something of value from this call? Like participating in what they're up to? I'm sending out a personal challenge to everybody on this call that this time next week, we each have 2 new people with us on this call. So I'm really committed that not only us, but our people who we're supporting, whether it's product or in the business, also get directly the value that's being provided on this call. And I think it's directly aligned also with everything else that we're doing. Duplication, us plus 2 other people. So who accepts the challenge for having 2 new people on this call next week? Dawn, good job. Yes, one finger, love it. Okay, cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Thank you all for being authentic. Thank you, Lauren, for sharing so openly. And this is the space to do it. And it's like you've got a whole life time for it. We go all the way through the whole game, and it doesn't even end tomorrow. This is warm up. Literally warm up for the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Yes. Woo.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.